Hello everybody and welcome to the Comb Racing League. Today we are here for Tier 4's round 12 around Imola. A race, well, qualifying, which will be short qualifying here in Tier 4. Should be starting fairly shortly, still have a couple more drivers to join the lobby. So in the meantime I will have a quick look at the standings. Which actually, I haven't seen Tier 4, don't normally commentate Tier 4, but very close among the top. There were 5 drivers who could leave this race leading the standings, especially close among the top 3, just 11 points separating them, 40 points for a win here in CRL. So it should be a very good race. Hugely looking forward to it. Just 4 rounds remaining including this one. Sprint race next week though, which always throws a spanner into the works. But Bailiff is currently leading the championship, I believe. Yeah, he is racing. Have a quick check as to which reserves we've got today. Right, so I think we have got... Yeah, I think we've got 1 reserve, which is MKP, who is now in the lobby. Which does mean there is just 1 more driver yet to come. It's one of the Red Bull drivers. So I suspect it's going to be Farrell. This freefall is the host. Yeah, I can't see him. I assume he hasn't got a race ban. Certainly not one that I heard of. Don't know. See, previous round was won by Ash. So I'll have to keep an eye on him. I was having a look through the standings because, as I said, not used to Tier 4. Did actually commentate round 6 this season, but Ash seems to be a bit of a replica of what Krishna is for Tier 2. As in, very fast pace wise, but seems to be extremely inconsistent, so results aren't all that likely. So I'll keep an eye on him, see what happens. Obviously we've got a few top 5 in the championship. There isn't one standout driver who's running away with it, or even just 2 or 3. Quite a large amount of them. So can't pretend to have a clue who I think is going to win this. Can certainly see how it all plays out in the end. So here we go, only raced once here, which was last season. So of course, who was it? Wild Dog got it last season. He's now in Tier 3. Someone I will be keeping an eye on is my usual Tier 2 co-commentator, Hedgehog. So he's racing, hoping to score points in his wheel for the first time. Farrell has now joined the lobby, so the race should be starting fairly soon. Yeah, Hedgehog is in the Mercedes, so I'll be keeping an eye on him, seeing how he does. Hopefully race or qualifying, sorry, not race, qualifying will be starting shortly. Drivers not been told to ready up just yet. They are now in the lobby, and I think, yeah, freefall is letting the drivers know to ready up soon. Yep, I've got the go ahead. Ooh, and Toff is already saying he reckons freefall's going to get a podium tonight, so I'll keep an eye on that, see if that comes true. Normally when words like that leave the commentator's mouth, they've cursed the driver to have a poor race. Right, here we go, short qualifying starting once they've all finished loading in. And that'll give me an idea of the pace of the drivers, who's going to be doing well this weekend, who is going to struggle. And of course, if anybody wants me to watch a lap of a specific driver, then I will happily do so, just mention. Yeah, I think it's still amazing to me how much closer the championship is here compared to Tier 2, what I'm used to. Because Tier 2, 5th place is more than 125 points off first, whereas here it's only 31 points. So vastly, vastly different, but here we go. Getting into the start of qualifying, just short qualifying here. Looks like Zenon choosing to start out on mediums, maybe just get a few banker laps in. Aussie, one of the first out on track. He is going to be the first out on track unless Zenon pulls out in front of him. So the McLaren driver, P7 in the championship. Only 64 points off the lead. He's still within a shot of the title. Though it could very much do with a good result here. Also a couple of drivers behind coming out on track. Is that one of the Hasses and I believe the other McLaren, which will be Shaden. Shaden been doing well this season, sitting in P3. He's in for a very good shot of doing the championship exit in this. Something I ought to point out, Zenon, the driver, actually up top on the mediums, does have a qualifying ban, so he's not going to be setting a lap. Follow Aussie through for his first lap, setting the marker for what the rest of the drivers have to try and beat. 18 minutes this session, already a minute and a half has passed, and actually the vast majority of the drivers are out on track. Only, we got 7 drivers still in the pit lane. One of them does have the quali ban though. I believe it's only one driver. We'll have a quick check in that regards. Yes, I think there is just one driver. Here we go, Aussie now starting the first lap, coming down the main straight. There is already 2 drivers ahead of him. Free-fall staying well out the way. The other driver actually taking out the braking board. Some people won't be happy about that, but does stay out the way of Aussie. They will be grateful for that. Coming towards the second chicane. Looks to be doing well, missing the apexes slightly, but for the moment keeping his car relatively on track, doing a good job. A yellow in the first sector. Is that an AlphaTauri spun on their lap? Actually, both AlphaTauris are on an out lap, so I'm just going slow to let drivers through on their quick lap. Aussie for the moment still with the valid lap. Holding it through the middle sector, through the fast double right-hander. Coming uphill for the moment. Looks to be a fairly decent lap. Can't claim to have a clue what the time's going to be, but here we go, clattering over the curbs. Doesn't settle the car quite a bit there. A lot of momentum lost. Of course, going to be setting those purple sectors. First man to be doing them. And again, that's a Williams off in the first sector. Aussie rounding the last corner. This will be the first lap set of the session. Well, of qualifying. Oh, there we go, a 1:16.3 for him. Our next driver will be Harvey. Has got a valid lap. We'll see how Harvey measured up compared to Aussie. He is behind him by a 10th. I'm not sure who the next one's going to be. It may be Shaden, his teammate. No, Shaden's invalidated. Wuban possibly? No, Wuban just starting off his first lap as Pio, his teammate, goes fastest with a 1:16.2. Just 2 tenths between the top 3 at the moment. Spider-Rob invalidating his first lap as Cammy comes in a fairly slow time on the mediums. Greg even slower. Craigo a 1:17.0. Looking to be a bit closer now. Here we go, my usual co-commentator Hedgehog. Let's see what he can do here. Coming down towards the line, he's set a 1:18.2. He's going to want to try and improve that one. So then Mark, and he goes fastest to 1:16.0. Provisional pole for the Ferrari driver. For the moment, he's got a couple tenths room to Pio. So he'll be happy to have that much space. I think Bailiff, yep, going to be our next driver to the line. A slow lap and is an in lap for him. Trying to see who the next one is going to be. I think it's going to be Freefall next. That's Ozzy's going to be improving his lap up ahead. Ozzy not improving. Freefall, a slow lap from him. As Wuban goes 5th fastest to 1:16.9. So I want to try and find some improvement on that one. I'll try and hop aboard with the driver who's only just starting their lap off. No foul into the pit lane. All drivers seem to be following the same trend here. Freefall is currently 2/10 faster. We'll follow him for the rest of his lap. See what the Tier 4 admin can do. Going a bit wide there, and he does invalidate in the middle sector. This time very slow at the moment. Still want to improve that. 3rd of qualifying session gone so far. You see his Maverick on the lap. He is. He's a 10th up in the 1st sector. Go, might have to worry about a little bit of traffic ahead of him. Oh, he's had a moment there, Maverick. Manages to get a hold of it. Is a carb staying off the line? Same with the Aston Martin there. Coming towards the chicane, but he is now half a second down after that mistake, clashing over the curbs. Again, seems to very much unsettle the cars there. Just really have to channel the risk reward, how they take that corner. Let's see how Spider Rob's doing behind. And actually, no, very much in a slow lap there. That is the Aston Martin we saw going slowly. So we'll follow MKP on his lap. Driver reserving today. I think the first time I've seen him in the league. May have reserved beforehand. First time I'm personally aware of him racing. We'll see what he can do. Already makes a mistake, goes wide there, off into the gravel, doesn't invalidate. Actually showing a purple 1st sector, that's interesting. Possible mile, then had a weak 1st sector. Also, I believe I missed Crago going up into 2nd position with that 1:16.1. That's good for him at the moment, provisionally on the front row. And close to getting with Mark. So NKP not going to be happy with Farrell just ahead of him, who is on an outlap. Does now pull out the way. That might affect him slightly. We'll see, just a couple corners to go here. These 2 left-handers to end off the lap as Harvey goes fastest with a 1:15.8, and that is 2/10 ahead of the rest of the field. So, MKP, we saw him go off into that gravel pit. He is a 1:18.0, so actually not the slowest lap we've had so far. Even counting for having a few mistakes there. So how about Ashland? This is the man who, judging by the standings, has very decent pace, but struggles with that consistency. So there we have into 3rd position for Williams, a 1:16.1. Fairly happy with that, as Reverend Melvin goes 8th fastest to 1:16.5 in amongst the midfield for the moment. Farrell now going to be starting the final sector. And there we go. Struggling on the exit to that chicane a bit. I think catching out a lot of these drivers. Farrell currently 9th in the championship, but qualifies 10th for the moment, so not too bad. Perhaps we're looking for some improvement there. So Bailiff struggling to get to the apex. Seems to be having a fairly clean lap so far. Other drivers do seem slightly more spaced out than they were early on in the session, which is certainly good for the majority of them. Not really a track where you want a car in front of you. Dirty air can have quite a heavy effect. Not many straights for your benefit from the slipstream of it. And Bailiff very nicely taking the chicane there. Best I've seen, I think, of the 4 drivers I've watched go through it so far. This is, of course, the man currently leading the championship. So he wanted to try and extend that lead if he can, and he goes 5th fastest at 1:16.2. It's 4 tenths off current leader. I'll keep an eye on Freefall. It's currently right down near the back of the order. The 7 minutes it's been short qualifying where the driver finishes in this session is where they will be starting. Indian Jesus is still yet to set a lap. Freefall yet to set one he'll be happy with. We saw him invalidate that 1 lap earlier. Now we're trying to get that bit more out of the car without making any mistakes. As Pierre goes fastest to 1:15.7. That's just under a tenth for him. I think Wuban, his teammate, up into 3rd, so Aston Martin doing very nicely here. 2 drivers in the front 2 rows. And in the better position of the 2 of them. Freefall going fastest to 1:15.5. And all of a sudden, Toffer saying he's going to get podium seems all that more in reach. Hedgehog here, I think, on a warm-up lap. So next lap, might keep an eye on him, see how he does. Spider up, not going to be improving this lap. Let's try and find someone who is on a lap. Shaden, nope, into the pits. Alright, Ferrari here, no, going slow. As is Ruban. Is anyone on a lap? That Indian Jesus will be. Yet to set a lap here in a purple first sector from him. Now, of course, an extremely quick driver on pad. Here. On wheel. Much more in tier 4 pace. I suspect he will know how to handle this curves quite a bit better than a lot of the other drivers. Again, another purple sector from him. And there we go, very nicely handled, using all the track for him there. Going to be a strong lap so far. I challenge Freefall up the front of the order. So I suspect to see him breaking into will he get to the 15s? Possibly. Find out as he comes now towards the line, and he's going to set a 1:15.5, and he does beat Freefall 73 thousandths ahead of the driver. Now on board with Hedgehog, not improving his first sector. Nearly 3 seconds off the leader, so a lot of time to find. And of course, it could have been a mistake in the later sector before. Cammy, interestingly, retiring. That does appear to be a mistake in the first sector that's had him off. So I suspect that is a DNF. Would have lost a tyre crashing out there. And is that the same for Maverick? No, I think Maverick is a pit lane retirement. So here we go, Hedgehog through the last corner. Now coming down towards the line, and we're looking to find as much time as he can quite far down the order. He goes up to 16th position, does find nearly 2nd, but he was so far off the field anyway. That wasn't going to get him all that much. Foul, nearly causing problems for, which driver was that? I think that was Harvey. Probably 5th fastest. It wasn't an invalidated lap anyway. still dangerous nonetheless. Might not be too happy about that happening. And Indian Jesus going to be on an in-lap. Yeah, on an in-lap here. And Bailiff, we had another driver crash out here. Bailiff going off. See Reverend Melvin just passing him there, and on the same chicane as well, the Alpine driver is out this session. Is that now both Alpines between Cammy and Bailiff? No, I think they are on different teams, aren't they? Bailiff Alpine, which is not great for the championship leader there. Cammy is in... what is it? He's Williams. Staying out the way of drivers there. So Melvin on a lap, he is. He's nearly a 10th up though. Huge mistake there. Goes a bit deep, brakes late, gets thrown off by the curb. Going to lose a lot of time on the exits of that chicane. So coming round the final two corners, he's going to want to push here. No, he is into the pits, interestingly. Not happy with how much time he lost. He's going to try and get out on a fresh set of tyres, push even more. Harvey across the line, and he is up to third fastest in a 1:15.7, just a couple tenths, quarter of a second off the current fastest time. Hedgehog staying very much out the way of his teammate. I'm not sure what he's doing here. Might have to ask him about that next time I commentate with him. His teammate Craigo is just behind him on track. Hopefully he will won't be in the way of his teammate. Unless he's going to try and give him a slipstream down the main straight, which could potentially be what's happening here. No, Hedgehog peels off into the pit lane as Craigo about to start a fast lap. Stick on board with him, see what he can do. Seems to be one of the quicker ones here. 3 tenths exactly behind Indian Jesus currently. Comes down towards the first chicane. Seems to be managing it fairly well so far. Looks to be quite a quick lap compared to some of the other ones we've seen. Towards the chicane where we've seen 2 drivers crash out so far this session. Again, handling it fairly well, a 10th up in his previous fastest. That's enough for third position if he can hold that for the rest of the lap. If he can find 3 tenths, he can be starting on that front row. If possible, he wants to do that. Currently 4th in the championship, 22 points behind Bailiff. There's Pio. No, Pio goes fastest. 15,000th ahead of Indian Jesus, and that top 3 has got even closer now. Craigo now needing ever so slightly more than just 3 tenths. Looking to be a strong lap so far, coming around the last couple of corners. Had a clear track almost the entire time. It's looked to be fairly strong, not many big mistakes here. And there we go, up into 4th position, gets couple places, not enough, very very close among the top drivers though. Who have we got still left on laps? Farrell about to start a lap. Is that also got Aston Martin about to start a lap? I'm trying to find who's near the end of their laps. Mark currently looking like he's going to improve. A purple middle sector and nearly 2 tenths up. That could be as good as 7th place, possibly even better if he has a good last sector. Opens up the steering well, and coming down towards the line, he is going to set a 1:15.7 and go 7th fastest for the moment. Currently Pio tied with his time on provisional pole. Harvey not improving his time. Next driver will be Freefall, who peels off into the pit lane. Then Indian Jesus, who is invalidated, so it won't be him either. Who's going to be the next one then? Is that Ash in the Williams? No, he's on a slow one, so he won't be improving this lap. Is it Shaden then? No, also on a slow lap. Is anyone still on a push of a lap, or we already had our order concluded? Craigo, again, another driver not going to improve in this lap. And Farrell's just invalidated his lap. So it is just going to be, who have we got? Wuhan. Sorry, Wuban. Nope. Which car's that? Mar is finished. I think this is qualifying done then. So I think Pio has managed to get pole position here at round 12 around Imola. Because I don't think any of the drivers yet to settle up. Wuban, the last man, still out on track. And that is qualifying concluded. Very, very close among the top drivers. Let's see just how close it is. The top 13 within a second of each other. And even just the top 9 within half a second of each other. Very, very close here. But in the end, Pio coming out on top, Indian Jesus starting alongside him. So going through the order now, Pio, Indian Jesus taking the front row, then Freefall and Craigo the next row. Ash, Harvey, Mar, Aussie, Shaden and Wuban finishing out the top 10. And Bailiff, Melvin, Cami, MKP, Fowl, Hedgehog, Maverick, Spider Rob, Greg, and then Xenon finishing out the order. Xenon with this qualifying ban, but Pio on top today with the fastest time in the qualifying session. Judging by how close these times are, it is going to be a very good race. And I did see Xenon mention we might perhaps get some rain at the end, so that could throw a spanner in the works. See what happens in terms of that, but here we go. Again, looking at the order. So, of course, not able to set a time. A few drivers not able to get laps they would have been particularly happy with. But all drivers setting their lap on the soft tyre. And it is going to be a very good looking race here. So here we go, a cloudy sky showing the rain that is to come. Drivers now going to be choosing their setup. So hopefully we don't see them ready up too quickly, so they have a chance to choose what their strategy is going to be. Ooh. I've managed to find Hedgehog's point of view of the race. This should be fun to watch. I keep that one open so I can keep an eye on that every now and then. So there we go, drivers now, well, one of them at the least has selected their setup. The rest of them will be readying up, preparing to start the race. I'm trying to remember how many laps it's going to be. It is a 32 lap race, so plenty of time for anything and everything to happen really. Here we go, drivers starting the formation lap. Let's see. Top 11 all starting on the softs. Melvin, the only driver starting on the hard tyre. We've got Cami, Hedgehog, Spider Rob, Greg, and Xenon starting the mediums. And then outside the top 10, we've got Bailiff, MKP, Frowell, and Maverick starting on the soft tyre. So drivers now tyre warming, getting towards the grid. Of course, everyone. Melvin perhaps can be swallowed up, although if he can make the hards work well, or if there's an early safety car, then he can go hard to soft if there's a late safety car. Well, actually, to be fair, it might be his plan is to hold on to the hards until he gets until the rain kicks in, and then from there he can change onto some wet compound of tyres, and that could work quite well for him. Drivers now pulling onto the grid. the Aston Martin going to be leading off. I'm not sure if it's an Aston Martin or a Mercedes safety car at Imola. Drivers pulling into their grid slots. Zenon, our last driver, that actually went with the last one to the grid. Greg lagging behind a little bit here. We'll start it by looking at, oh, what am I doing? Position changes, we can see who the big gainers and losers are of the first lap. Here we go, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights are up. And we've got a long hold, but the way the drivers go, hard to see actually what's happening at the front from here, but a very good start it appears from Pio. Indian Jesus not able to get anywhere near him. Prego already up past free fall on the second row. And Shaden up, what's that, 4 positions for the McLaren driver. Everything going on. We've got a Williams there without a front wing. Not sure which driver that is. Yellow flag there for, that appears to be Maverick. He's going slow near the back. Hedgehog, also a bad start by him. Did he stall looking at his stream actually? Because it wasn't an incident he was involved with. But Pio still holding on for the moment. Shaden, a remarkable start by him. Already up 4 positions. And that's past other drivers on soft tyres. The same can be said. Behind 2 positions. Bailiff, our championship leader, had a bit of a mare in qualifying, I think. Saw him crash off with Red Bull going deep there. That's free fall. Looking for a way past Craigo. The top 2 already breaking away. Indian Jesus has closed that gap back up to Pio a little bit. Starting to apply the pressure to the leader. Don't think he's really close enough to go for a move. We'll see. Yeah, a long way back there. And DRS not yet enabled. Not going to be able to do anything with that. We'll see if the same is true for Shaden. No, he's going to stay behind for the moment. So all 20 drivers are still in the race. A few of them going into the pit lane. That's Farrell and Cammy. Cammy with that Williams we saw without the front wing in the background. But out of a third, closing up a little bit here. Craigo reeling in free fall. The Shaden still right on his tail. And a load of drivers queuing up behind him. All of this caused great news for the front 2. We don't seem to be fighting just yet, but very much closing that gap down. I have to have a look at how close Indian Jesus is. Mercedes for the moment might want to save, and that's McLaren round. That is Shaden round, the driver who we saw had gone up 4 positions, and he's flown right down the order. Actually, whatever happened there seemed to also benefit Bailiff, because Bailiff got past. Who was it who was behind Shaden? I can't remember. I think possibly a 2-driver incident there. That is looking very good for the championship leader, despite his bad qualifying start, really moving up the order here. Now, front 2, don't want to miss an overtake for the lead. And Jesus right on the tail of Pio, pressuring him, but not actually going for the move, trying to compromise his line, but actually Pio taking it very nicely. Not let the pressure get to him, possibly picking up a warning there on that left-hander though. Pulled away extremely nicely, just 1 DRS zone here at Imola. And that is a yellow flag, and that is Zenon who's gone round. The driver with the qualifying ban started right at the back. He's now perhaps about to be overtaken by Hedgehog. Further down the order. Is Hedgehog going to catch him in time? No, not quite. See if there's any battles going on further down the order. Mar recently got past Ash. I missed that. Ash does seem to be struggling a little bit in the race. It's side by side here between Aussie and Wuban. Wuban trying to go side by side through that chicane, but a very tricky chicane to do so. In the end, the Aston Martin does back out, and McLaren stay ahead. Shaden picking up 3 seconds. The time penalty seem to be pushing a bit too hard too early. We've got a VSC out, and is that for Farrell further down the order, who is out of this race? Assume possible that a collision with Cammy, or was that just a... Not sure what happened there, but no, a full safety car is brought out, and half the field already gone past the pit lane. You can very clearly see where. I'm very interested as to what Melvin's staying out on his hard tyres, of course. That makes perfect sense. Barely any wear on them. Still plenty of time for them to pay their tactical dividends. They've just got, what's that, 4 drivers in the pit lane. Quite possibly Cammy to join. I know actually he won't be because he is on fresh softs anyway. So for the moment, Piot has retained his lead. Indian Jesus stayed right on him that entire time. The other drivers behind were fighting a fair bit. Free fall. Going to have another chance to stick with them after the safety car restart. Some drivers a long way back, so we're going to have possibly 3 laps behind the safety car, but certainly won't be released until the start of lap 6. So a little bit of time, drivers to settle in. There's Cole Paradox there giving some support. The Alpines, where are they sitting? I can never tell which colour the Alpines are. Bailiff's an Alpine, right? So currently P4 and P11, so not too bad from the Alpines. Are they the strongest team? No, I think that goes to Ferrari here. Got 2 and second and 5th, which is 53 points between the 2 of them. Well, actually, I think Indian Jesus does currently have fastest lap, so I might be 54. Go, Piot now catching up with the safety car, and it is the Mercedes. And if you've been watching recent F1 news, the Mercedes is about 5 seconds a lap quicker, or certainly is this year 5 seconds a lap quicker than the Aston Martin. Maverick pitting again, and this might be, was that to avoid a double stack last time, or why is he only pitting now? No, his teammate didn't pit either, so I'm not sure why Maverick didn't pit last time and did this time. Possibly dented front wing. But either way, he'll be hoping the safety car does not come in this lap. So, among, what have we got? Trying to see where those people at the top of the championship fight are. Piot, actually not really in the championship fight. Is he reserve here? I think he might be a reserve. No, he's down in 18th. So actually this would even double his score if he can win this. Of course, still plenty of the race to go, different strategies to be employed, and supposedly rain to come later, so nowhere near confirmed yet. Indian Jesus, actually, another one, not interestingly, right up in that championship fight. He's not too far off, just 71 points down, but he is down in 8th position. One big result could do huge things for him there. It's the same with freefall. It seems the top 3 not actually in the championship fight. It's only the guys underneath who are. So some people are really going to have a chance to close in on those guys at top and possibly even increase the number of drivers fighting for that championship. There is going to be 3 laps under safety car, so we will go on lap 7. Yeah, leave us with, what does that leave us with? 26 laps of racing? Assuming I can do maths. I hope I can do maths. Got some exams coming up in a month or 2. Hello, hello. So I suspect in 2 or 3 corners we'll get that safety car coming in this lap. All drivers, including Xenon, have now caught up with the pack. See, going to be about now. We're going to get that thing come through. Or not. There we go. Safety car is going to be coming in this lap. Xenon has just left the session. That's not particularly ideal for him. Hopefully he can get a quick rejoin. Here we go, Pio now backing up the pack. We'll watch this from Indian Jesus' point of view. See if he can get this right. Pio can't go just yet, safety car not quite in the pit lane yet. It's too early, still backing up the drivers. Is he going to go now? He's going to wait for partway down the straight. He is waiting a little bit. Pio not yet gone, it's up to him when he goes. In the opportune moment, and he's just already VRS on. What's he done here? He's done a Max Verstappen and pulled alongside him. Because of it, he's already lost out. You can see the drivers there very bunched up behind. Already we're looking at loads and loads of positions jostling further down the order. The drivers all now rushing down towards turn 1. Overtakes the lead, but in the midfield I think I just saw a front wing go absolutely flying across the chicane there. Drivers dropping positions left, right and centre. Wubin going down the order a little bit. Top few holding their positions. It's further down the order where you've got these battles going on. Harvey looking to get past Ash here. As Aussie picks up 3 seconds of time penalties. Harvey on the outside, and that is a yellow flag. And that is Maverick who's gone round before the hairpin. Seems most drivers doing a fairly good job though. A huge gap between that 13th and 14th position. And a very nice camera angle here. Oh goodness, the Ferrari braking early. And the Williams not able to stop us. Oh, and that's Shaden out we just saw there. Backs into the rear and loses the tyre, and that's another safety car coming out already. Some very close racing there in the middle field. And yeah, driver lost, and that is a driver who is third in the championship, was hoping to have a good race here. Now, with just 4 rounds to go. That is such a shame for them. So the question is, how many of the guys on softs are going to pit, and is Melvin going to inherit the lead? No, not quite. I think Pio, Jesus and Freefall are staying out on track. A lot of the other guys in softs pitting, deciding to get their tyre change out the way, not staying old softs for too long. And apparently that's Shaden's first DNF of the season. So that's such a shame for him, because it really wasn't his fault. There was an instant in front, then a slow drive that he hit the back of, and just, yeah, lost the tyre. Didn't even seem to be that high speed of an impact. Not much he could do. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. I got a very nice aerial camera of the incident happening in front, and then you caught the slow driver, lost a tyre there. Of course, some drivers actually, we did see some front wings being lost there, so some drivers would have been pitting for that as well. Now we're looking at, what, just 5 drivers sitting on the tyres they started with. Harvey picking up 3 seconds of penalties while on the safety car. The Muppet. Never recommended to do that. No need to push when you're only slightly behind the safety car. Now actually, a very high probability here that there will only be 2 laps behind the safety car, meaning racing will get underway at the end of lap 9. So we'll have to see if that happens. Not necessarily, because having looked at how close the championship is, you've got, what, 3 rounds to recover, one of them being a sprint race round. And given how close everybody is, Bailiff currently way down the order. Who's the other one who's ahead of you? Mar. Yeah, he's not doing too strong this race either. Obviously Craigo doing okay, but actually none of your championship rivals are having a particularly impressive race. Still plenty to go on though. I suspect this will be the last lap behind the safety car, especially if no one does peel off into the pits. Yeah, so racing presumably going to resume at the end of this lap. Which will leave us with 23 laps left under green and 18 drivers remaining. Oh no, Hedgehog has pit. Why is he pit? Is he getting a new front wing? Is he just wanted some new tyres? I'm not sure. Oh, and there's been contact between, who's that, Aussie and Wuban. Only Aussie picking up a penalty from that. Oh, you're not even here for next week. No, you're probably right then. Because next week you got 46 points up for grabs with a sprint race. So that, yeah, win-win, fastest lap. You might be right then, sadly. Wouldn't say they're 100% gone, but yeah. There we go, the safety car in this lap that we expected. And it's the same front three drivers, PO, Indian Jesus and Freefall here. A lot of the other guys are pitted now, but these three are still sticking up top. PO once again leading the safety car restart. When is he going to go? He's gone early. Oh no, he hasn't. Made it look like he might have been going. Oh no, hang on. That's not the smartest restart. Almost immediately going to lose the position to Indian Jesus there. I don't think Freefall thought they'd actually gone for a bit, so he's been left behind. But Indian Jesus already on the inside, going to be taking the lead, I'd suspect, into the first chicane. And yeah, he has, behind Freefall, defending from the pack. Ooh, that's Indian Jesus off and out. Did not see what happened there. I don't know if there was contact or what. I suspect if there was, just a yellow flag for the moment there, no safety car. I suspect if there was contact, I will very quickly see somebody mentioning it. But for the moment, racing is still green, apart from yellow's first sector. It's about up for P5th, going on quite heavy here. Zenon looking for a way past Greg, but also now has the Haas alongside him. These three, oh, interesting there. Can they see each other? We've got Craiggo's gone round. Zenon seems to be having connection issues, and a huge clump of drivers just behind him. Zenon is now AI, and that's causing all sorts of confusion here. Look at all these cars. Far too many cars in not enough space here. Not quite sure what is going on. Certainly the drivers are looking to take advantage of everything they can. That yellow flag out for Craiggo, down to 17th now. There's a chance we might see him hit for hards. Harvey prepared and Jesus finally leaving the session, not too happy with whatever happened there, suspect. And look at this crazy battle here for P4. Greg currently leading this mess. The driver's going 2 by 2. There's contact between the two Hasses. MKP coming out on top. PO picking up 3 seconds of penalties in the lead, and that's not what he wants. We've been looking to go on the inside of Greg. Slight touch, the two Hasses behind going side by side, and they really are going 2 by 2 here. In the end, Greg staying ahead of Wuban. Got to say, big fan of this camera angle here. Zenon finally able to rejoin. Oh, and contact there, and that is the Aston Martin losing a bit of rear wing there. And Harvey already going to try and get past him here. Don't think he'll fight it too hard. He'll want to pit if he's lost an end plate this early on in the race. Yeah, cutting the corner there. It's going to be a warning picked up. Still dropping down the order rapidly. But this battle for P4 still going on like crazy. DRS now re-enabled. You're right, there is an admin monitor. Someone should tell them to stop abusing their power. Wuban pulling into the pit lane, and I think this may be, well, speeding in the pit lane. Don't know if it'll be a retirement. A little bit of contact between Harvey and Greg. In the end, Harvey coming out on top. Greg side by side with his teammate Shaden. Even the session, is that's Aussie who's gone round. And this battle's starting to calm down a little bit. Still plenty of drivers still fighting away here. Greg cutting off MKP and maintaining that 6th position. Now he's going to have to defend that 7th from Cammy, who's just behind him. And everything's happened. I think Maverick's gone for a spin. MKP picking up some time penalties. Seems to be a lot of those going around. I have no idea why the interval isn't showing, but it should show once the drivers get to the end of the lap. Try and pick off where the battles is. What is Freefall doing? Looked like he broke on the straight there. Bailiff getting through. Doesn't cause any problem for any other drivers. So Greg and MKP side by side here. Greg with the inside line, appearing to come out on top, but Cammy just behind the two of them. While they're fighting away, compromising each other's lines, he'll be looking to get both of them if he can. DRS for everyone here but the Alpine, and they're going 3 wide. It'd be nice if they actually showed the camera angle for it. Here we go, coming down on the Haas, losing out here. Cammy on the inside, but Greg gets it in the end. Oh, MKP's gone round, and hopefully not into the wall for him. No, manages to keep it out, but going to drop down the order rapidly. Hedgehog up to P8. He's been creeping up the order. Trying to see this battle for P4 now down to just 2 cars, but Bailiff still right on the tail of free-fall, and it's still not coming to an end. Here we go, a very good run out of the corner there for Bailiff, pulling alongside, perhaps having to back out because of that yellow flag. Free-fall, retaining position for the moment, might be waiting to try and get him on the main straight. So we can pull away during the rest of the lap. Cost free-fall now on very old soft tyres, while Bailiff on fairly fresh mediums, just 4 laps old, 8 laps younger. Free-fall's aging soft tyres. We'll see him pitting fairly soon. Certainly if there's another safety car, we'll see him pull into the pits. Run down now towards turn 1. The Alpine having to go around the outside. Massive amount of overspeed, and that is him through up into P4. Neither of these two drivers yet with penalties, so that's usually advantageous for them. Oh, free fall, having a moment there, catches it, goes off into the gravel because of it. MKP picking up 5 seconds of speeding in the pit lane. There's the 2 Alfa Romeos there swapping positions. Spider Rob up to 8th and to hunt down Hedgehog. I think I can finally take a bit of a breather of the drivers now settled down slightly. Although having said that, the 2 Alfa Romeos look like they want to scrap. Xenon right on the tail of Spider Rob. Now he's been able to rejoin. Crago setting the fastest lap. Spider will be trying to stay within the slipstream of Hedgehog, but of course Hedgehog is on much fresher tyres, 5 laps newer. He's going to have that advantage as long as there isn't a mistake. What's that yellow flag for? Not sure. The 2 Alfa Romeos side by side coming down towards the final 2 corners, and Spider Rob is shuffled down. Xenon getting through, and now going to have a good shot at Hedgehog coming onto the main straight. Faster exit. Dan him the fastest of the 3 of them in this battle here for 7th. So it comes down towards the first corner. Whoever was in 3rd, I can't remember who it was, but has pitted. And Xenon is past Hedgehog, who's now in and out for a Romeo sandwich. Going a bit deep there for the Mercedes. Spider Rob having to veer around it, but does. Oh, he's going to say gets the position. No, a little bit of contact there. And in the end, does get past Hedgehog. Let's see if I can see some Hedgehog point of view from Greg. Nope, not quick enough. Spider Rob shuffled down. Actually lost quite a bit of time because of the contact. We'll keep an eye on free fall on his fresh tyres behind Maverick. Chasing down a driver on the mediums. Just come out the pit, has free fall. Who was one of the drivers up at the front. Him and Pio both doing very well, currently 8th and 10th. Maverick going wide. He's already got some penalties on him. Just 3 seconds for the moment. Harvey currently on the most, apart from those 2 for speeding in the pit lane. Maverick again going wide, and this time just decides to let free fall through. Going to be on the faster tyres. The least he can do is get dragged down main straight. The time DRS detection zone goes through, yeah, easily within it. Not going to be going in for an overtake here, at the very least be dragged along on these hard tyres. The drivers are now starting to spread out a little bit. Actually, he is closing that gap down a lot. I don't think he's going to be close enough for an overtake. We'll have to keep an eye on this. It's free for going deep as well, not going to help his chances. Maverick a bit slow through the corners as Aussie picks up 3 seconds of penalty. And that brings him up to 6 seconds. So supposedly due to be rain near the end. I'm not sure how near the end that is, and I'm not sure how likely that was. Some drivers might be playing their tactics based on that. Of course, Melvin, at the moment, pulling an Albon, starting on the hard tyres and yet to pit on those. They're not quite to the same extreme that we saw at Australia. It is the Imola Grand Prix this weekend, I think, isn't it? So we did it first. CRL beat the FIA to it. Here we go, Mark will be waiting to line up Greg to try and get him down the main straight. His tyres 13 laps fresher. Greg still on the tyres he started this race with. Just one or two drivers, that holds true for him and Melvin on the hard tyres. Greg not yet coming into the pits, and I think we might very well see an overtake going on here. Got ERS, DRS, he's got slipstream, and he's even got the inside line here. And that is Mar flying through huge amounts of overspeed up into 12th position. Nothing Greg can do to respond to that. And actually now under threat from behind, Craigo on the fresh soft tyres. He'll be closing down on him. And that is a yellow, and that is from Maverick up ahead. We'll see what these drivers can get compared to him. Craigo just behind Greg, and where is Maverick going to rejoin? He is behind this battle. Actually, I think behind Aussie as well. It's going to be close there as Greg goes wide. They're really pushing to try and stay ahead of the Mercedes. Yeah, Aussie is up into P14 past Maverick, who had that mistake there. At the moment, Harvey still holding the lead. Actually, appears to be extending his gap, but he does have 6 seconds of penalty, so he needs to extend the gap. And we're really hoping there isn't a safety car. As Zenon retired from the session, and that's Zenon out. Yeah, that's Zenon out of this race, now down to just 15 drivers. Everyone who finishes will be scoring points. Looking very good for Bailiff championship chances, currently leading the championship. I've managed to miss that Greg overtake on the main straight, but of course suspected given the tyres. And that is Craigo up into P, now 11 actually, now past Zenon. Oh, Greg's going round, and he's lost a tyre. And it's Greg also out of the race, exactly the same place, possibly exactly the same method as Zenon. In the end, did technically get past him, so I guess he crashed at a faster speed, able to get further. I'll hop on board with what was a battle. No drivers now coming into the pit lane. Reverend, Melvin pitting, Bailiff also pitting. Behind the VSC, can we going for the same trick? I think a lot of the drivers going to do it. Does partly depend on where the VSC is, but Harvey, huge lead here. And he'll be hoping to just pull this gap and keep the gap, but it does play the risk having that big a lead. If there is a safety car, then he'll need to pit immediately. Hope he doesn't get caught behind it. Have once seen where a driver got caught out, not given enough time to pit, but still safety car getting them on that lap. That was in Tier 1. I can't remember which race that was. The Bailiff getting drive-through for speeding on the safety car, and that is not good news for him. As did Mars, so two drivers there getting caught out by the VSC. Spider Rob now right on Bailiff's tail. He won't be too happy himself. So might not be driving his best laps. Getting annoyed at the game for that. And that is now Zenon also reckoning his championship hopes are done. He was sitting in 5th, 31 points behind Bailiff. Actually, Bailiff not going to do too well this race. Has he served his drive-through, or has he just picked it up? No, just picked it up. Still yet to serve his drive-through. There's Melvin now right behind Pio, and we've had a spinner. That's Mar further down the order. He's got a drive-through penalty he needs to serve, one of the 2 drivers. That's the case. DRS, CRS, slipstream now for Melvin. So he comes towards PO, going to have the inside line. Also has to worry about Harvey up ahead, who didn't pit under VSC and then did pit under green. So that's an interesting choice. Loses all the lead he had, and Hedgehog now taking the lead here. Harvey right on Hedgehog's tail, not able to make anything done here, but Hedgehog on the much older medium tyres. And like I say, I've got Hedgehog stream up as well, so I can watch his point of view to see any reactions to what he's doing. But he's got a massive smile on his face at the moment. You can see his wheel on the camera, so we know he's not using pad. Still, for the moment, maintaining that lead. And of course, one of the few drivers up front here to not have a penalty. 3 of the top 5 sitting there with penalties. Harvey still behind Hedgehog on those fresh mediums. Harvey, I think, a tactical mistake here. I don't know why he decided to pit 1 lap after the VSC. Here we go, the battle's still ongoing. And now coming towards the main straight, Hedgehog going to be under huge risk here. Might very well. There's 2 positions. All the drivers behind him on fresh tyres. Harvey got overspeed, got ERS, DRS. Here we go, Hedgehog going to the inside. That's Harvey through. Also, Melvin pulling alongside here. And he's, yeah, completely outdone. Does manage to hold on to 3rd position. Defending off from Pio. Pio doing fairly well here. Just trying to remember who it is. Bailiff and Mar have now both served their drive-through. Excuse me, can't speak. Hedgehog now drops off from the front. 2 going to be defending off Pio. More penalties picked up for MKP. Hedgehog still holding off Pio. We'll have to keep an eye for the leaders swapping positions on the main straight, but also this battle for 3rd. Just a moment. Defence, both of them seems to be going well. Is that Pio picking up even more penalties? I think it might be. Melvin in a good position here. It's Harvey fastest lap, and who's that yellow for? That's Pio who's gone round. He's lost his front wing. Luckily able to pull straight into the pit lane, but I guess that takes the pressure off of Hedgehog. As Harvey now taking the lead. Melvin sitting behind him. Hedgehog now in a bit of clear air, and I guess that makes his job a little bit easier. Smart picking up 3 seconds of time penalties. And this is looking very, very good for Hedgehog, who theoretically can't go to the end on these tyres. And especially if there is rain due at the end, he's in a very nice position. As Reverend Melvin going wide, and all of a sudden even more in Hedgehog's favour as the drivers around him picking up penalties. Behind him though, Cammy is closing down on him. That Maverick very slow and off track there, I think, possibly dragging his car home to retire in the pit lane. Although all drivers finishing will get points, so anyone in the championship battle will do everything they can to get to the end. And that is a spun. Is that an Ash? That is an Ash. Ash spun in the middle sector. Behind, going to lose position to both Craigo and Bailiff, I think. Yep. Craigo Bailiff championship rivals in this tier. Might hop on board with this battle because this is very crucial between the 2 of them. Craigo sitting just 22 points behind Bailiff. It's Maverick, as expected, retiring in the pit lane. Not someone who's really in with a shot for the championship. Technically, he's still not out of it, but only just. Bailiff now flying past alongside Craigo on the outside, and you know what? He's made it work as long as he doesn't go too deep. Gonna have a bit of a slower exit here. For the moment, holds it as Cammy up ahead is past Hedgehog. This 3-way battle raging on for P6. Bailiff on those fresh medium tyres. Craigo on the old softs, which means Ash is going to have a better tyre out of those 2. Oh no! Hedgehog out of this race. What happened? He just got on the power too early, went off into the wall. And that is his race hopes dashed, and that is the safety car out. We'll see if the guys up front decide to go into the pit lane. And that is such a shame for him. He was hoping to score his first points on wheel. Not going to happen in the end. Cammy is into the pit lane. I think he might be going for a fresh set of softs. I wonder what he'll be going for. Free fall also into the pit lane. Of course, Craig will be really happy he can pit here. Uses this opportunity to get off his old soft tyres. It's only going to be, yeah, about what we're going to have if we stay out behind the safety car. As soon as it's going to release is at the end of lap 24, which means just 8 laps of racing, possibly only 7 laps of racing. Well, it is now down to just 12 drivers. And yet a whole host of them pitting. And Cammy here sitting in P4 on his fresh, interestingly, mediums. Possibly only used soft so far this race. So actually might not be in that much of a better situation than Bailiff. Cammy is one of the drivers in with a good chance for the title. Not in the top 5, but only 53 points off of Bailiff. He's sitting just ahead of him on track. Quick look at all these penalties. So 9 for Harvey, 3 for Melvin, 6 for Ozzy, 3 for Spider Rob, 6 plus 5 for MKP, 6 for PO, 3 for Mart, and 6 for Ash. But hang on, is Robert a little spin under the safety car? Not sure. I think he might have. So safety car still out on track, I think. Going to be coming out. So going to be coming in at the end of lap 25 unless more drivers decide to pit here. Interestingly, Mar decided to not pit. That's an odd one. On 10 lap old mediums, you would have thought his position second last on track, it'd make perfect sense to do so. Drivers now behind the safety car. Oh, hang on. Oh, Melvin losing a bit of his front wing there. That's not good news for him. Somehow, did he avoid getting... Neither of them got a contact penalty. The one time damage is dealt to a car, and neither of them get those 5-second penalties. Welcome to Codemasters.
Oh man, cannot believe that.
So I suspect through the chicane we're going to get that safety car in this lap, maybe? No, going to have one more lap behind the safety car. I think we're just going to have 6 laps of racing then. To see how it goes. No, safety car is in this lap, and that is a very, very late... Safety car's just last minute decided, you know what, I want to come in this lap, and that is very odd. Here you go, drivers side by side, none of them prepared for this at all. I think Bailiff might end up having it going into the first corner on the inside here of Harvey, and he, does claim the lead. And that's him without any penalties. He's in a very good position here. Melvin, of course, pitting with his damaged front wing. Bailiff leading for the moment. See, battles going on further down, everyone really close together. Of course, everyone extremely bunched up. No one was expecting the safety car to come in this lap. Didn't find out until absolutely last second. Now, Freefall is on fresh soft tyres, but he's behind Cammy on fresh mediums. With just 7 laps of racing, being on these soft tyres is going to be hugely powerful to him. He's got no penalties. He's just got to get past Cammy, possibly not until the DRS kicks in, and then work his way through the other guys on the mediums. Bailiff will be hoping to try and run away with it. Of course, Aussie going to act as a little bit of a wall with those older medium tyres. Here we go, no Freefall. He's going to get past Cammy. Makes sense to use his DRS for the moment. Although, is he actually going to get him in the end or not? He's on the outside, no, and the overtake not going to happen in the end. Needs to be trying to get the best of these tyres while he still can. But for the moment, still stuck behind Cammy. He's losing positions to the top 3. Although, for the moment, Bailiff is still having to defend from Harvey. He's not giving up this fight just yet. Going on, I don't think we're going to see an overtake between those two, certainly not till DRS kicks back in. Freefall has the tyre advantage at all. Hey up, and that's 2 drivers in 1. Aussie and Cammy both going around. And you know what, Freefall's thinking, yeah, I'll take that. 2 drivers going to spin, that's 2 positions for me. Just like when Russell decided to spin behind the safety car and Kimi got a free position there. So he'll be happy with that. Of course, neither of those 2 drivers down to 10th and 11th. Going to be particularly pleased with the fact that's happened. They were impressive of them to do it synchronised. Freefall now is to try and close the gap down to the top to the DRS enabled, so it does have to worry about potential attacks from behind. But I think he's got enough of the gap down to PO behind him. And himself just have to worry about penalties, so knows that Freefall isn't really an opponent here. Freefall is highly likely to beat him unless he makes a huge mistake. Front 2 though are fighting away. Harvey right on the tail of Bailiff. Harvey fractionally fresher tyres here. There we go, the lead battle is still ongoing. Freefall starting to close that gap down to the 2 at the front. Of course, the more they defend from each other, the more it's going to hurt them. 4.5. Can I count? Yeah, 4.5 laps remaining. Of course, I'm not going to just slingshot each other down the main straight with slipstream. And actually, Pio has now closed up towards Freefall. Didn't have to defend on that particular one as Spider Rob goes round in the same place we saw Melvin and Aussie go round last time. Gaps not really close as much as Freefall would like it to. Pio picking up even more time penalties. Whoops. Now on 9 seconds. It'll be interesting to see if he does decide to go for the overtake on Freefall or not. But an overtake for the lead might be happening here as Harvey on the outside of Bailiff, and he is through up into the lead for the moment. Behind this battle for P3 still going on. Craigo and Freefall both on their fresh soft tyres. Pio sandwiched between the 2 of them. And battles going on all over this place. Got this battle for P6 between Mar, MKP and Ash. Mar on the fresher tyres. I think MKP going to be eating the life slightly here. But that's interesting. Rain's starting to pick up. You can only just see it if you look carefully. The Spider Rod, perhaps a bit early, he's gone onto the inter tyre. I think most drivers will be trying to go to the end. Hopefully they don't make the mistake that Norris made at Russia, as Melvin, a pit lane retirement from him, and just 11 drivers left, and that is a VSC. And that is, no, that is for Mel. Sorry, I mixed up the drivers. Melvin crashing on exit here. I think the rain's starting to affect the drivers a little bit. I wonder if they'll decide to try and pit for inters or what they'll do here. And that's a full safety car. Surely there's just going to be 1 lap behind it, because there's only going to be, what, lap 30? Then 31, 32. So even with just 1 lap behind the safety car, that's just 2 laps of racing. Drivers deciding what they're going to do. Surely you want to pit here. Drivers certainly further down the order. Ash hoping to gain some positions from others pitting. We'll see what happens. Some drivers taking the risk of staying out. This really throws the spanner into the works, and this is going to be a nice mix-up here. Of course, if the rain gets heavier and heavier, all these guys on the dry compounds, it is going to be a repeat of what Norris did in Russia. Trying to stay out, hold on to his lead, and in the process plummets down the order. We're only going to have 3, I guess if Aussie pits for Inters, maybe 4 drivers on the Inters. I think it makes perfect sense for Aussie to pit for Inters. And only lose 1 on track position and possibly gain huge amounts from it. But of course, if the safety car does come in this lap, then he will be really far behind. So perhaps a slightly harder decision here. He has decided to pit. So you know what? This might be Craigos to win. This very well may be Craigos to win. And as the man currently sitting P4 in the championship, he'd be very grateful if it was Bailiff leading the championship. If the dry tyres do hold out, then of course very good for him championship wise, as it looks like he would get those 40 points. Who have we got with fastest lap at the moment? That is Harvey, so he will likely be getting those points, as there'll only be 11 finishers anyway. Yep, as expected, safety car in this lap. We will have 2 laps of racing, but I think Craigo and Ma are going to catch up. I wonder if Spirob's going to catch up in time. This really spices things up. It's now Harvey. Won't want to hold too long because you'll have to worry about the guys in the Inters behind. When's he going to go? Not going just yet. Bailiff already got his ERS on, waiting for the restart. Harvey, is he going yet? No, holding a bit longer. Tell you what, the Inter guys will be loving this because they can catch up even closer. And there we go, are now underway. And actually, Piero's been caught sleeping behind. And hang on, watch this. Craigo already up to P4. Flying past loads of drivers, is that? Oh no, some people going into the pit lane here. With just 2 laps to go, they're choosing to pit. Bailiff, yeah, these guys on the dry compounds are really suffering. And Craigo's just got to choose when to go past now. All he needs to do is just pick his moment. We've had a spinner, I'm not sure who that was. I think it might have been the Haas of MKP. And Craigo just now needs to find a safe way through. Actually, he's got a wall of people here. And just needs to pick a moment where we can get through safely. Here we go, now up the inside of Pio. Should have the grip comes to the exit here. All contact between them, a little bit of touching between Craigo and Pio. Pio's own fault for sliding in the rain there, and Craigo now up into P2. And actually, it is just close up that gap to Harvey. It is currently 3 seconds. But he gets it on penalties anyway. And all of a sudden, that pitting is going to get him right up the order. Being on these Inters. It's not over till it's over, and he's absolutely proof of that. It's already hugely cutting down on the time, and now there's Harvey going for a spin there. And Ma also going to be going up into P2 in a second. Though Ma, I think, is sitting on quite a bit more. No, just 3 seconds of penalties. Harvey going round in front of him, and he'll say, yes, please, and thank you. Made that nice and easy for me. Bailiff doing the best of the guys on the dry tyres. Just one by one, they spin round, and Spider Rob now looking very good here. He's sitting on quite a bit more penalties, if I remember rightly. No, just 3 as well for him. Pio going deep, and that is another position for Spider Rob. Hopefully it doesn't clip the driver. Now, here's the question. Do the guys on dry tyres stay out? They do. He decides pitting will cost him more time than trying to stay out on the tyres. Pio is pitting. Some of the other guys on dry tyres not pitting. MKP really struggling here. I think he will pit. And driver not confident in the rain, going to have to do so. And not many battles actually left on track. Although having said that, Spider Rob around the outside of Bailiff, and you would not overtake there in any other conditions than these. Where you can just fly past those drivers on the dry compound. Harvey going off on track there. And he will be regretting not pitting now. Bailiff then the next one. Where is he? He's a long way up the road from Cami. But of course, with just 1 lap to go, Cami 3 seconds of penalties. He needs to get past him and stay 3 seconds ahead. I'm not actually sure what's going to happen. I think Bailiff has made the right decision given how comfortable he is on this compounded tyre. It remains to be seen. That gap not closing perhaps as much as Cami would want. Oh no, never mind, it is. I'm looking at the wrong time gap. So he needs to get past past Bailiff as soon as he can and get 3 seconds ahead of him before the end of the race. And you know what? I think it might actually end up happening in the end. But Craigo now hopping board with him, coming around the last 2 corners, and he's played the weather perfectly. And here we go. So Craigo coming towards the line, and he is going to win the Imola Grand Prix. Mark will be the next driver coming across in second. Whoops, wrong one. Nope, that's the right one. Spider Rob in third position. Cammy's gone round on the... Is that on the Inters? And Bailiff actually going to end up getting fourth in the end, despite the fact he didn't even pit. Very well done to him on those dry compound of tyre. He'll be very pleased with himself there as Aussie. Yeah, showing that even the Inter's struggling a bit now. Cammy going in P5. Aussie coming across the line in P6. A host of penalties on him, but not as much as Pio behind, who is sitting on the Inters. And my goodness, a real change up at the end there. Pio coming across the line in P7. Harvey going to be in P8, and I think he'll stay behind on penalties. But I think Freefall might have both of them here. Because the amount of penalties they had, I think there's every chance Pio shoots up. Yeah, Freefall up into P7 here due to penalties. As MKP finishes in P9, and Ash going to finish off the order in P11. Still picking up a decent haul of points, all things considered. And there we go. What a way to end the race. Rain kicking in. And Matt Rowney coming in second. Here we go. Here is the final. Well, here's the podium first off. Some of the drivers absolutely praising the rain. Others cursing it beyond anything. But here we go. I will try and get the 3 podium sitters in for an interview. Assuming it does hopefully actually show me the final order. Please show me. Yes, there we go, nice. So Craigo getting that win, Mar in second, and Spider Rob finishing out the top 3. Then we've got Bailiff, Cammy, Aussie, Freefall, Pio, Harvey with the fastest lap, MKP and Ash finishing. Reverend Melvin, I think he will get points in the end. But there we go. What a way to end the race. I'll quickly try and get the guys in for an interview, or not even a thing. They can join me here. Oops. So if you give me a second to sort this out. Okay, and there we go. What a way to end the race. We got Matt Rowney and Spider Robs, that second and third, saying they are going to come. Ah, hello, hello. Alright. Congratulations on your podium.
Hang on, 2 seconds. I'm on my phone. I don't know.
Well, I can hear you, so.
Yep, I can hear you now. There we go.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, congrats on the podium. I'm sure you weren't really expecting it, given what you were looking like with, what, 4 laps to go?
No, I'm not going to lie. I can't even believe I've actually got my first podium with this league.
Oh, this is your first podium. Nice, very good job.
This is my very first podium in CRL. This is my second season, but this is my first podium.
Well, full congratulations for that then. So you were one of the ones who pitted nice and earlier, weren't you? Under the
Yeah. So I noticed that the rain came in. As soon as I saw it came in, I was debating on the very first lap it came down, but I decided to play it safe and go one more. And then when it got heavier, I thought, no, now's the time. I need to jump in. So
Yeah.
It was a gamble. It was a massive gamble. And then when they disabled DRS, it was like, right, I've got to do this.
Yeah, and then Matt Rowney, our P2. How did you find the end of that race for you?
Honestly, that was up to the safety car. That was probably the unluckiest race I've ever had in the CRL. I got spun early in the race, so I dropped from like 5th to the back. Then I got caught up. I think Aussie span in front of me, didn't go, so the guy in front of him hit Aussie, and then I hit Aussie just as I was making my way back through. So I had to pit again, and then when I pit, something happened with my like hood on my screen, so I couldn't see my speeding. I couldn't see the speed I was driving into the pit lane. I couldn't see how long it was until, you know, how long I had left until I was going to get penalised for speeding under VSC, for example. So yeah, I ended up getting a drive-through penalty without realising. So I had to serve that, and I was like 13th with like 4 laps left, and I thought this is like my race from hell. But I knew it was going to rain, so I jumped on softs, I think, with about 4 or 5 laps to go, thinking it's going to rain. I thought I might as well just go for it on softs and see how far up I can get. And I was literally behind Craig. I don't know if he's in. But I was just behind him. I think we were both at the back. And I was like, do I pit? Do I pit? And I saw him pit last second, so I died, and I just thought I'll follow him. And it turned out to be the best decision, because as I literally entered the pits, it come up saying safety car. So I've never had a race like that before. It was like from the worst race ever to the best race ever. It was crazy.
Yeah, well, I did see early on that someone mentioned there was going to be rain at the end. I thought, is it actually going to play much of a factor? But in the end, it pretty much decided the results. So, yeah, well done for playing that right, even if the rest of it didn't go your way. Which I think Bailiff was the other one who got a drive-through for speeding under VSC. I don't know if that was a HUD thing for him as well, or just pushing it too much.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I couldn't, like, for example, I don't know what part of the HUD it is, but it's every time that you get a message, you know, when you exceed track limits, I wasn't getting any track extension warnings either. So I just got a message off. I got a message off to say, you've got a 3-second time penalty, and I was like, what? So I had no idea how many penalties I had left or how many penalties I had until I got and I got a 6-second one. And I couldn't tell if it was a safety car or a VSC. I was guessing based off the delta. I didn't know if I had to go slower or quicker, if I had to cash the sit. Like, literally, it screwed me. I was guessing. But yeah. I'm with the result.
Also,
it was his first podium, so congrats, mate.
I'm not sure if you've had a look at this yet, but you are now championship leader by 1 point. You're 1 point ahead of Bailiff.
I actually looked at this a couple of days ago, and I've been second for, I think, what we on now, round 11 or round 12?
This is round 12, so 3 rounds to go, sprint race next week.
Yeah, so I've been second in the championship, I think, for 10 of the 12 rounds, or 9 of the 11 rounds, or something like that. And there's been 3 of the different leaders. And I've just been sat in second, watching people go up and down, and I'm sat there like, when am I going to take the lead on it? And I thought, it might never happen. But yeah, to take the lead at this stage is, it's awesome.
Not much of a buffer down to second, but certainly better than nothing.
Yeah, I don't actually know what either results were. I know Shaden DNFD was up there.
Who else have we got?
So I'm
obviously,
might be quite close.
Bailiff came 4th. Craigo. Oh, actually, you raised a point about Craigo. How did he do? He came first, got in 40 points. So he would have gained 7 on you, and he was 13 behind.
I've lost the championship lead.
No, you haven't. You are still ahead of him. But the thing is, I think it's something crazy. Like, he's only 6 points behind you.
Oh my god!
So you, Bailiff, and Craigo, 6 points separating that top 3. I know.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy end. I think Baku's going to be a big one, because I think is it a sprint?
Yeah, it's a sprint race. So 46 points available if you just dominate the entire thing.
Yeah, and then obviously, like, the walls, a mistake around there, it's fatal. So I think there could be a lot more twists, to be fair. So I'm not getting too excited. I'm glad I can say I've at least led the championship finally, but
yeah,
I'm not getting too excited because anything could happen, especially with Baku.
Yeah, so I know both. Shaden said he wasn't going to be racing next week, so actually he's essentially knocked out the title fight. Xenon, I think, quite likely going to be the same boat. So it might just be you 3 battling with a 6-point difference between you. Because Cammy isn't... I guess he's closed the gap. And he hasn't closed the gap, but he hasn't dropped too far behind. He picked up 20 points from this race, so not doing too badly. But it's still, a fair way down off you guys. But,
yeah. I think it could go to anyone. I think Bailiff's definitely a better qualifier. So I'll struggle to beat him in quali. I think today was probably one of the few races where I was actually quicker than him in quali, but it might just come down to who makes the least mistakes and who doesn't get the who doesn't get penalties and stuff like that. But I'm just glad I'm in there.
Yeah. So, Spider Rob, once again, congratulations on getting your first podium. But I've got to ask both of you, how are you with Baku? Is it a track you like? Is it one you hate with the wall? You're going to pull a Charles Leclerc in the castle section? What are we thinking?
Baku's one of those where it's been 50-50 with me. I either have a really, really good race and I take the wall perfectly every single time, or within the first 4 laps I'm going to be towed off by the crane.
Well, for your sake, I hope it's the first then.
So do I. It would be nice to try and, go one step further this time. You don't understand how much I'm on cloud 9 just getting to the podium. So now I've got a taste of the podium. The next step now is I want to win. I want to do a shoey.
Yeah, Matt, how about you then?
Yeah, I really like Baku, to be fair. It was probably one of my better tracks when I was on pad. Maybe not on wheel, but I've not driven it on wheel for a while, so I might surprise myself. But I do like the track.
It's probably the nicest street circuit out of all of them on this game. It's probably the nicest one apart from Jeddah.
Yeah, I think it's a bit like Jeddah. I think if you can get into a good flow around Baku, I think you're all right. I think it is just if you have like 1 lapse of concentration, you'll hit a wall. And I think Tier 4's now on standard damage instead of reduced. So I think now it's like any mistake, even if you clip the wall, I think you're going to need a new front wing. So it could be a crazy race.
Yeah. I don't know if you two have had a look at driver of the day, but at the moment I think you're 50-50 split between who's getting it. All the votes have gone to you two, so...
Fair enough.
Who's got it? I think Matt's got 1 more vote than Rob at the moment, but...
Which is fair play.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to get it, but like I said, it's Rob's first podium, so if he gets it, like, fair play.
Yeah, well, unless you guys have anything else to say, I will let you go and celebrate your respective podiums.
Well, I celebrated by waking my son up, so now I've got to deal with the consequences of winning.
Good luck, mate.
Yep. Cheers,
yeah, right,
guys.
well, thank you
so
guys,
much.
and once again, congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very
Cheers,
much.
boys. Well done, guys.
Bye.
Right, so there we go. That concludes round 12 of Tier 4. Just 3 rounds left to go, 1 of them being sprint rounds. Theoretically, if you do this perfectly, how many points is it? 128 points if you just win everything, fastest lap, everything. But of course, no driver is going to be able to pull quite that much off. But yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, 6 points separating the top 3. Matt leading Bailiff by 1, who is only 5 points himself ahead of Craigo. Shame Craigo couldn't join us for this interview, but my goodness, it's going to be a close one. I have to keep an eye on Tier 4. Don't normally watch them too much, as I'm normally busy on Monday, hence can't commentate, but today was a one-off where I could, and my goodness, it was well worth it. But from me, I think that is going to be a goodbye. Actually, I won't be doing my usual commentating on Tier 2 as I am away, so go watch Hedgehog do Tier 2. He does an amazing job, but for me then, I guess it'll be a week on Thursday when I'll be back doing round 13 of Tier 2. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.